I don't want to get my shoes muddy.
Yeah, perfect. Oh, it looks pretty.
Oh boy, it's a real clay.
Pretty clay-like. So what's your explanation here?
Don't think it's tailings.
I think it's just coming off that hillside. Or maybe they dumped some material in here.
Yeah, it could have been hauled in too. Well, it's up there. I see some red up there.
Coming down this marsh.
Where can I find some water without getting too wet?
Right here.
This is going to be really hard to pan out.
So what's your technique on panning out clay?
Well, what I could do here is try to break it up with my fingers. And there's a really difficult problem because the smaller and smaller pieces still could pick up the gold and be a pan robber and wash it out of your pan.
The smaller pieces of clay could still pick up gold.
That's right. That's right. And you can see it would probably make adobe bricks. A fire brick could probably be made out of this stuff. There are some smaller pieces of rock in it. If it had a lot of gold in it, one way you can do this, of course, is to hit it with a giant and have a 300 feet of sluice box, and that'll help some. But in small test quantities, you can put it into a metal can, like a 5-gallon metal can, or even a 55-gallon drum on a big scale, build a fire around it, and bring it to a boil. And as the water expands into steam, all the little particles of water in the clay start expanding, and it breaks the atomic bond of the clay. The clay minerals are very finely divided, and they pull together into a mass. They're sticky, obviously, but the moisture acts as the binder, and when it comes to steam, it breaks it up, and you'll get a pile of sludge in the bottom of it that pans quite well. As you can see here, I still have clay, and maybe I've reduced 20% of it here. And what can I do? Put more water in it and keep squishing it around? It's really difficult. Some of this clay can be extremely rich in gold, and it doesn't get worked. There are chemicals you can add to it, but we did a consulting job on Creek, and this guy came in and he said, well, we use these special chemicals that breaks up that ionic bond of the minerals. And, when we talked about it, the BLM and the Forest Service said, what? How are you going to get rid of the chemicals? So that wasn't a good option.
And this is an explanation of why a lot of the old timers lost gold, and there's a lot of gold in their tailings as of today.
Yes. And even when the clay wasn't as sticky as this, for example, I'm thinking of the Gold Run deposit along I-84 between Sacramento and Reno. It's a big high channel. It's a couple thousand feet above the current channel of the American River, much lower now. But this gravel is turned into a saprolite, in other words, rotten rock, and there's a lot of clay in it. But it breaks up. But they had 300-foot sluice boxes and a lot of the fine gold still went over the edge. So, I've been here about 3 or 4 minutes now, and I still got some lumps in here. What I've done sometimes, there is a little bit of material here, and I could throw these bigger clunks out. I guess I'll just keep doing it. By the way, you can see that running water would be an advantage here because it's getting pretty soupy. This also reminds us why hydraulic mines that ran such material, the one at Picket Creek comes to mind, they would periodically, they had a lot of material like this there, and they had maybe only 250 feet of sluice boxes there, as near as I can guess. A lot of fine gold went over, and a lot of, made the Rogue River look red like this. And when they would clean up, the people at Galice, which is something like 10 miles downstream from Picket Creek, near Merlin, Oregon, And they would say, "Oh, the guys at the Big Four are cleaning up. Let's go up and visit. We can go out and have beer tonight. You know, they're cleaning up. They're not working." Because they could tell, because the whole Rogue River for 10 miles ran this yellow color. Well, I still got little clumps in here. You know, you almost hope it's not rich, because then we'd have to do something about it, right, Josh?
Yeah, tough stuff.
And, it's so difficult to work.
To mine.
We've also seen people put this in concrete mixers and mix it around and keep pumping in water and keep rolling it around, and it seemed to help. You know, I actually cheated. Notice I took out some of the clay. I'll try to get some of the clean water up here, and you know, if we're fortunate, we might be able to see something in here.
Any black sand?
Some. At least I got some fine material in there. It's still, you notice in the pan there's still these little clumps of clay. You know, it's a real challenge. And but I've got some clean water coming into my mud puddle here. And this is the same hole that swallowed up your good little car, right?
Yeah.
Oh my. That's why we decided not to go up any further on it today.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing that there's not any gold in it.
I've seen it where there was. This is the kind of hillside you'd expect rough chunks of gold in the clay. This is what we've seen before, and
all right.
Otherwise, we'd be scratching our heads. You know what we're going to do here. I just don't see anything there. Still, look, there's still some clay up in there.
There's some little bit of black sand.
Yeah. Not bad. In fact, actually, a lot of times you'll hardly get any black sand on such a slope. So that's a good sign.
Well, thank you for that fantastic demonstration.
Well, and you know, I didn't get too muddy. That's one of the fringe benefits here.
You haven't fallen in yet.
That's right.